Hi Yogi, welcome to Yoga with Alina. Today we have a 30-minute restorative lower body practice. It's a vinyasa style class, but it's a very stretchy one, really yummy. I'm using just one block for this, but if you want more props, by all means grab them, set up the space for yourself, and I'll see you on the mat in a few moments. Alright guys, so that I don't keep freaking you out with getting off and on the mat, you are going to start this practice sitting in a comfortable crossed leg, but having the mat kind of the other way. I'm not even sure how to describe, but I'm sure you can see it right now. If you want to sit on the block, sit on the block. I love my block, you know me. If you don't feel like sitting on the block, you can sit on the floor here as well. And we're just going to start the practice by closing down the eyes and taking a couple of moments, a couple of minutes to arrive into this space, into this practice, into right here, right now. This is where you're disconnecting from the outside world. Whatever happened before, whatever is going to happen after. You're just being, just feeling. Notice sensations, feelings, emotions, thoughts. Now when you feel ready, you can start deepening the breath. Nice deep inhales, matching long exhales. And we're starting to send the air up and down the back of the throat to create an ocean-like sound. In and out through the nose. The air is traveling up and down the back of the throat. Visualize the air traveling up and down your spine as well. Beautiful job. And from this one, your next inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, you're going to twist over to the right. The right hand is going to go behind your tailbone. The left hand is going to hook to the right thigh. Look back behind you. Take a moment here. And then you're going to keep the left hand exactly as it is. And reach the right arm up and over the right ear. Lean towards the left knee. Look up to the ceiling. I'm not looking for a big range of motion. And then lower the right hand outside the left thigh. You're going to pull the elbows in towards one another. Separate the shoulder blades. Bring the chin closer to your chest. Puff up your back. And then let it go. Inhale, reach the arms up again. Exhale, hands come down to heart center in prayer. You can keep your eyes closed. Totally cool with me. Without using your hands, try to switch the crossing of your legs. If you're sitting on the block like I'm doing, it's actually an added balance challenge. It's pretty fun. And once you switch the crossing of your legs together, inhale, reach the arms up again. Exhale, twist over to the left. The left hand is at the base of the spine, and the right hand is going to hook to the left. I look back behind you. Okay, we're going to keep the right hand exactly where it is. That's the front arm. And then reach the left arm up and over the left ear, leaning towards the right knee. I do not care about the range of motion as long as you feel it in the left side body. That's all that I care about. Keep looking up. And then lower your left hand outside the right thigh. Pull the elbows in towards one another. Separate the shoulder blades. Bring the chin a little closer to your chest. Good. And we're going to let it go. Inhale, reach the arms up again. Exhale, hands come down to heart center in prayer. This is where we're going to take our time to set up an intention for the practice. Why are you here? What brought you onto your mat today, and what is it that's going to keep you on your mat the entire practice? Very personal question. Good. The next inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands are going to come back to heart center. And again, without using your hands, you're going to separate the knees and you're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Technically, you don't need your block anymore. If you're still loving how it feels on the block, you can stay here. If not, just remove the prop and sit on the floor. We're grabbing the toes and we're going to start pulling the crown of the head forward. Shoulders away from the ears. Neck is nice and long. Good. We're going to inhale and lift ourselves back up. Now is when you definitely don't need a block, trust me. So slide yourself back down on the mat off the block and bring the hands underneath your knees. You're going to step the feet out to the side. The soles of the feet are down. The toes are pointing out. Hands together, the heart center in prayer, lifting the chest up. And without moving your feet, you're just going to drop the knees over to the right. Both knees are dropping to the right. That's going to create two 90-degree angles with your legs. You're going to keep those two 90-degree angles and walk the hands straight to the top of the mat. You're coming to face the right side of the rim. And you're just going to let it go. This is your 90-90 pose. If at any point you need a little bit more out of it, you can hug the right foot around with the left arm. And maybe even lower down a bit more. But one thing I want you to do here is to embrace this pose for what it is and not try to make it what it is not. A lot of people are trying to create pigeon out of it, and I promise you we will create pigeon out of it in just a couple of moments. But right now I want you to take everything this pose has to offer. Feel the stretch going down the right outer glutes. Feel a little side body stretch here as well. Close your eyes, enjoy. Find joy in this practice. That's probably my intention for you. Good, and from here, if you're loving this pose, or if there's something happening with your right hip or the right knee, that's when you're going to stay here a little bit longer. If none of the above, then you want to transition into your pigeon, you're going to lift yourself on your forearms. You're going to slide the right foot down as low as you can. Don't be afraid to do that. And then straighten the left leg all the way back behind you, so completely on the mat. Bring the right knee out to the side, opening the hip, and then push yourself back a little bit more. We're going to let it go, coming into our pigeon pose. We're getting pretty deep into the lower body today. We're starting with very deep hip openers together. If you want to place the block or any other prop you're using today underneath your chest, you can totally do that. Maybe underneath your forehead. Maybe you have more than one prop and you can do both. Or you can just stay here, exactly where you are. I want you to make sure that your hips are leveled. You're not dropping too far down to the right or the left. Always looking for balance. In yoga, in life, you know me, I'm all about balance. How does the balance feel for you today? What are the emotions, what are the sensations that are coming up as you're holding this pose? And we're going to stay here for about two more breaths, maybe three, depending on the length of your breaths. Good, and from this one with me, we're going to walk the hands back up. Now you're going to drop down to the right hip and turn back to face what was the front of our space, right? So back where we started, you're sliding your left leg in a little bit closer. The sole of the right foot is pressed against the left inner thigh. Flex your left foot, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, you're going to fold over the straight leg. Now I say folding over the straight leg, but the truth is you can always deconstruct the pose to get a little bit deeper. If you need to bend the knee to press the chest against the thigh, I like to grab the outer blade of the left foot with the right hand and then start pushing the heel forward. If the leg doesn't go all the way straight, that's okay. What I want you to try and do is to keep the right shoulder down. Don't let it lift up. This is not a side body stretch, right? We really want to get deep into the hamstring, and we also want to get deep into the back, into the lower back. Keep the breath going very intentionally. The inhales are creating more space. The exhales are getting you a tiny bit deeper into this one, and you're going to push that left heel a little further forward. And then the next inhale, we're going to lift ourselves out of it. Good. And then from this one, you're going to bring the right ankle on top of the left quad. Lean back if you need to. Bend your left knee. Bring the hands super close to your glutes. The closer the hands to your glutes, the better the stretch. If you have a wall behind you, you can also press the glutes against the wall. And that's going to give you a completely different sensation in this pose. I love doing that sometimes. Shoulders away from the ears, neck is long. Push the right knee out. You can use the strength of your leg to do that. And keep flexing the right foot, making sure you're protecting your right knee. Keep the breath going. It's always sounding like a broken record, but the breath is something that's going to really create deeper poses for yourself and create a better practice for you. Good. And then if this one is enough, then you're staying here, and that is fine with me. If you need a bit more for that right hip, you're going to heel to the left foot over to the right, come into your double pigeon. This is a pretty tricky pose. A lot of people start sliding the bottom heel much closer to the glute. That's going to make it easier, but it's not going to make it better. So what I really want you to do is to make sure that the bottom heel is directly underneath the top knee. And even if the pose looks like that for you today, that is fine as well, right? It's not about how it looks, it's about how it feels. And once you get into your double pigeon, you can thread the fingers of your left hand through the toes of the right foot. And then maybe start leaning forward. Take your time. Deep poses. It's pretty much impossible to just pop into them. Not right off the bat. You need time to warm up. You need time to open up. So give yourself that time. We're in no rush here. If you're folding forward like I'm doing right now, try to make sure that the right hip is staying down on the floor and make sure that your back is staying nice and long and straight, shoulders away from the ears. And from this one, we're going to inhale and lift ourselves out of it. Good. Slide your right knee on top of the left. And we'll sit between the heels, Gomukhasana cow face pose. Work on grounding the right hip down. Now, if that sounds borderline impossible, then you can sit on your prop. Totally cool with me. And if you're sitting on the prop, then you're just staying sitting upright. If you're sitting on the floor, that's when you can start folding forward as long as the right hip doesn't lift off the ground. One tip that I have for you, even when I'm folding forward, my hands are in front of you. Well, my hands are in front of me, not in front of you. And you're pushing. Again, I am pushing. Oh my God, I'm on fire today. And I'm pushing into the hands to really make sure the hips are staying down. That means that, yes, it might look like I'm pulling myself forward, but the truth is I'm actually pushing back, making sure that alignment is staying. Keep the breath going. In and out, nice and smooth. The ears traveling up and down the back of the throat. Ujjayi breath is staying the entire practice. That's one constant that is always there. The poses change, the sensations change. The breath is staying. Good. One more breath here. And then your next inhale, you're going to lift yourself out of it. Good. And from this one, we're just going to separate the legs. We're going to send the legs out as far as they go, coming into wide-legged seated position. Peel the flesh away from your sit bones. Good. And then from here, first bring the hands behind the tailbone to lift the chest up and work on straight spine. And if you need more, you can start pushing yourself forward. Flex or point your feet, make sure there's engagement happening there. And if you need to start pulling yourself further forward, hands are coming in front of you. And you're starting to do exactly that. You're pulling yourself forward. Imagine there's a rope in front of you. Maybe imagine that there's something sticky on the floor. I always say this. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, neck is long. Now, one thing I see a lot in classes is that people are trying to lean forward with their hands floating in the air. There's absolutely no way you can pull yourself anywhere with your hands not being on some kind of surface. So make sure that you do have that steady surface to pull onto, to hold onto. And that's something that's going to get you deeper. Even if it doesn't look like anything today, step by step, being very patient with yourself, you will see the difference here. Shoulders are staying away from the ears. Another breath. The next inhale, you're going to walk the hands back up to lift the chest. Good, and we're starting back where we started before. This is how we'll go to the other side. Hands come underneath your knees. Bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet down to the floor. Toes are facing out. The chest is lifted, back is straight. Hands at the heart center in prayer. You're using the elbows to push the knees out. The soles of the feet are down, and the feet are not going to move in this transition. You're just going to drop your knees over to the left side of your mat, I guess. And then bring the hands in front of the left shin. You're starting to walk the hands that way. Good. Remember to breathe. If you need a little bit more out of this one, you can hug the left foot around with the right arm, pulling yourself a little bit closer to your left foot. Then maybe the forehead goes on some kind of surface, floor, block, any other prop you have. Again, remember, you'll get a chance at your pigeon later in the practice, in just a couple of breaths to be exact. So try to find joy in this pose. How much more can you relax here? This pose is so amazing. I love it so much, but I feel like I have a PTSD from teaching it in classes where I teach it and everyone just starts automatically adjusting into their pigeon. And then I become a crazy person, running around the room and adjusting everyone back. Anyways, we're going to get to pigeon together. If you're going there on the side, lift the chest and you're going to stay down on your forearms, though not too high up. And then slide the left foot down, very important so that you don't twist your knee in the process of transition. And then send the right leg all the way back behind you. Send the left knee out to the side to open up the hip and push the right leg a little further back. You can stay down on your forearms. You can drop on your forehead. You can use your props. But try to stay balanced in this posture. The right or the left hip is not lower than the other. If you want to explore like I usually do, you can rock a little side to side. That might feel really good. But again, remember, there's always that balance that we have to come back to. There's always that middle ground that we want to come back to. Deep inhales, matching long exhales. Beautiful job. As you're holding this deep hip opener, notice the sensations, notice the emotions and how they're changing. We store a lot of stress, we store a lot of tension in our hips, and this is where they start coming up. I want you to be very present for the entire experience. We're going to stay here for about 2 more breaths. Nothing crazy. Just 2 more breaths. You can do it. You've done worse. Now with your next inhale, we're going to walk the hands back up, and this is when you're going to drop down to your left hip and turn around to face the front of the room again, bringing the sole of the left foot to the right inner thigh. The right leg can come in a little bit closer. Flex the right foot. And then with me, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold over the right thigh. Same thing as before. I say that the legs stay straight, but you can always deconstruct the pose to get a little deeper. You're going to bend your knee, if you're with me on that. Grab the outer blade of the right foot with the left hand and start pushing the heel forward. Think about length. Bottom of the rib cage is staying down. Crown of the head is going towards your toes. The breath is staying nice and smooth, nothing crazy. Make sure the left shoulder stays down. We don't want to open it up right now. Not a side body stretch. We've done some of those, and it's not the focus of this practice. How much more can you stretch your hamstring, your lower back? That's the question here. Maybe push that left, right heel a little further forward before we get out of the pose. Now with your next inhale, we're lifting ourselves back up. And bring your left ankle on top of the right quad. We're going to bend the right knee and bring the hands super close to your glutes to straighten out the spine and arrive into our figure four stretch. Now again, if you feel tempted to try it, try it. Bring the hips super close to your right glute, keeping the hands where they were before, and you'll understand that you feel absolutely nothing here. Because it's not about how close the hips to your heel, right? It's about how straight your spine is. Sounds ridiculous, but it's all true. And then you're going to draw the shoulder blades down the back neck, as long as shoulders away from the ears, and flex your left foot, push the left knee out to the side. Again, if you have a wall behind you, maybe you bring the hips super close to your wall, straightening the spine that way. That's going to be a completely different sensation, completely different pose for you, completely new experience. At some point of your life, of your practice journey, definitely try that. And if this figure four is enough for you today, this is where you're going to stay. If you need more, your left foot, your right foot is going to go over to the left, and your left foot is staying exactly where it is. You're stacking your shins one on top of the other. You're working on bringing the heels and knees in one line. So again, make sure the bottom foot doesn't come in too close. It loves doing it, but as you're going to lose the pose that way, and we definitely don't want that to happen. Thread the fingers of your right hand through the toes of the left foot if you're in the double pigeon with me, and then maybe you start leaning forward. Be very gentle with yourself. This is a deep hip opener. And a little disclaimer for you guys. First of all, when I first started practicing, when I first started my yoga journey, I thought that this pose was absolutely impossible to get into. I was nowhere near where I am today. And it took me years to get where I am today as well. And also, this is not the first time I'm practicing this pose today, and this is exactly why I'm able to get into it pretty quickly, pretty right away, and pretty deep. The first time was not as pretty, just saying. Good. One more breath here before we move any further. We're going to inhale and lift ourselves back out of it. And then you can slide your left knee on top of the right, sit in between the heels. Now is when the bottom heel is coming in closer to your glute, but not underneath, right? You're not sitting on your right heel. You're actually pressing everything down. Floor or block, that part is up to you. And if you're folding forward, that's only if you're sitting on the floor. Make sure the left hip is not lifting off the ground. Try to use your hands to push yourself back even a little bit more. It's just a little tip. Now again, how amazing is that? It's really not about how it looks, it's about how it feels, right? It's about what goes inside the pose. So if you just look at me right now from the side, it looks like I'm reaching my hands forward, but the truth is I'm actually pushing myself back using my hands. The breath is intentional. Inhales to create space, exhales to get you deeper. Take your time, let the body open up for the pose. Let this practice come out of love, out of compassion. Definitely not out of fear, not out of hate. This is not a punishment. This is a nurturing practice in every way. At least it's intended to be. Good, and we're going to stay here for about 3 more breaths. Nothing crazy. If you've done my yin style practices, you've done way worse. Good, and with your next inhale, we're going to walk the hands further forward, all of us, and we're going to lift the hips off the floor. We're going to roll over the knees, coming into tabletop. Now, I know you're facing weird direction for the tabletop, but it's okay. And cross your legs and adjust your tabletop. Try to keep your knees on the mat, not on the floor. You can straighten one leg back at a time. The hands can be on the floor right now because they're not staying there for long, I promise. And then from here, you're going to find stillness in your tabletop and bring the knees together. Separate the heels. One more chance to use a block for you. Maybe place the block or any other prop between your heels and sit on top of the block. And if this is where you feel your quads, this is where you're staying. If you need a bit more for this stretch, you're going to lower the hips down to the ground. And if the hips are down on the ground and you need even more out of this one, you can start leaning back. You can lay down on the floor. If you're at that point of your practice, you know exactly what you're doing. If you're laying down on the floor, you might have to turn yourself to face the other way on the mat. I do realize that. But again, depending on where it is you're practicing. You can close your eyes, observe the sensations. Make sure the toes are facing straight back. And one thing I started noticing recently in a lot of my students, the toes are starting to face out when they get into this pose. It twists the ankle quite a lot, not super good. So we really want to take our time and bring the toes to face the back. In addition, that's going to give you a nice deep ankle stretch, nice shin stretch. All those things are super important for us. Good, and we're going to stay here for a couple of more breaths. Beautiful, beautiful job. Inhale, lifts us out of it. If you're leaning back or laying down on the floor, you're going to get yourself out of it. Lean forward, and again, straighten one leg back at a time. Just taking your time with it, getting the blood flow back into your legs. Restoring the blood flow, should I say. And then you're going to keep the knees together, tuck the toes under, and sit back on your heels. Not holding it for long. I know some of you will get scared, especially if you've done my in-style practices, because I love this pose and I love holding it. We're not holding it for super long, just a little bit to give back to the feet that are carrying us around the entire day. Good. Maybe you can relax your body so much that the knees start sliding forward even more, opening the arches of your feet. I really encourage you to close your eyes here, observe the sensations. Maybe take a mental body scan, why not? Beautiful, beautiful job. Another deep inhale. And exhale, let it go. And exhale, you're going to lean forward. Tap out the tops of the feet, let go of that stretch. And then you're going to keep the hips in line with your knees when you feel ready. Just adjust your tabletop and remove the block from the side so that it's not in the way. And you're going to start sliding the knees out, keeping the knees and the hips in one line, keeping the ankles in one line with your knees. We're coming into frog pose. Now, it doesn't matter how close to the ground you get. Eventually, you can drop down on your forearms here. Maybe your chest goes on top of the prop. If you needed to, make it very restorative, very feel good for yourself. A lot of us are actually going to be much deeper in this pose than I am right now. Some of us will be a little bit higher off the ground than I am right now as well. And all of that is totally, totally fine. As always, as long as you're feeling it in your hips, that's all that I really care about. So don't try to create a shape. Try to create a sensation for yourself. Create benefits for your body. As you're relaxing deeper into the pose, you'll notice how the knees are sliding out a bit more. Beautiful job. A couple of more breaths. This was a deep pose and personally not my favorite, but very, very, very effective. So if you're not loving it, just I am doing right now or not doing right now, right? Know that it probably means that you really need it. Let's do another breath here, why not? And to transition out of it, you're going to try and keep the knees exactly as they are right now. And bring the feet together or as together as you can and push the hips back. You might have to bring the knees in a little bit closer eventually, but I'm trying to get you into the deepest child's pose of your life here. Just take a few moments and challenge yourself to get there without bringing the knees closer together. Good. With your next inhale, walk the hands back up, rolling up your spine vertebra by vertebra. Good. And then you can bring the knees closer together. Now, no pretty transitions here, but we're lowering down on the floor. So whichever way you want to face it, make sure that your body's going to stay on the mat, and you're going to lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Bring the soles of the feet down on the floor. Lift the hips up and place the prop underneath your tailbone, coming into supported back bend. One of my favorite restorative poses of all time. Once you get there, straighten the legs towards the front corners of the mat and let the body become very heavy on your prop. Notice how that space in the hip flexors is opening up. I want you to really bring your mind to that space. Sounds ridiculous, but go for it. You'll understand the idea and really enjoy. Deep inhales, matching them with long, long exhales. And then you can stay in this back bend for longer, or you can move through a couple of more poses with me here, staying on the block. These next two poses are completely optional. But if you're moving with me, you're going to bend the knees again, stay on the block, and just lift the feet off the ground. We're going to straighten the legs up to the ceiling. Flex your feet. Good. And again, you can just stay here. Legs up the wall, waterfall, whatever you want to call it. Or another thing that you can do here is start sending the legs all the way out to the sides. One more straddle. You can even bring the hands to the inner thighs here if you want. No pushing, no pulling, nothing like this. The weight of your hands is going to be completely enough for that stretch. Every exhale is going to get you a little deeper into this one. It should be fairly easy to hold, especially holding it on the block. Good. And then from here, hands are coming underneath your thighs. You're going to guide the leg back together. Legs are going to stay together for another couple of breaths. We're all going to bend the knees, lower the feet down to the floor right in front of our hips, and then lift the hips off the block, slide the block, or any other prop that you're using from underneath your body, and straighten the legs towards the front edges of the mat. Let the arms fall open. Let your body relax. We're arriving into our final posture of the practice, our final Shavasana. Let's take a deep inhale. And exhale, let it go. Let's do it again. Inhale. And exhale, let it go. Let this be enough for this practice, yogi. I encourage you to stay here for the next 3 to 5 minutes, letting the body take in everything you just did. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. From my heart to yours, I say namaste.